What's up, guys? So I just wanted to make a video here where something interesting happened to me this week, and wanted to share it here. So basically, I've been working a lot. I've been working my 9 to 5 and also bartending. So, working between 70 and 80 hours a week. I hired a property manager for my house, and the reason that I'm talking in my car is because I have a neighbor who is renting from me, and I really don't want them to know that I own the place because, that can come with its problems, especially in, this neighborhood. But yeah, so, anyways, my neighbor has been living in that unit for 2 months, and I haven't gotten a dime of rent. Now, you might be thinking they just didn't pay. Well, no, they're on Section 8, and everyone knows that Section 8 always pays, right? Well, wrong. Okay, so what Section 8 did is they inspected the wrong unit. There's a third unit, Unit A, and instead they inspected Unit A instead of Unit C, even though Unit A, it said Unit A on the door, and they still inspected it wrong. Okay, and I was really not anticipating this, but after that they said, "Oh, okay, like we can't pay you because we inspected the wrong unit and we haven't approved your unit." You know, these are things that people don't really tell you. I know there's like a lot of people online saying like, "Oh, Section 8 is the best way to go. The government always pays on time." And the reason I'm telling this story is because I want to show you an example of how they don't always pay on time, right? So, yeah. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, Section 8, they inspected the correct unit after that, after there was already someone in there, and they said, "Oh, it's not up to code." And I think they knew that they could get away with a lot here because there was somebody already in there. So they just found every little thing they could nitpick on and said, "Oh, you gotta fix this. You gotta put doors on the closets." Like the closets never had doors to begin with. My unit doesn't have doors on the closets either. Neither does the 4 bedroom, and that one passed inspection. So, they were just really taking advantage, and so it took 2 months basically for all the repairs to go through. That cost a lot of money. Meanwhile, the people in there were living for free, and Section 8 was not paying for any of their rent. And I was having to foot the bill for all of that. And that's really why I picked up a second job now, was to be able to not go broke paying for this stuff. And so, you know, I'm still kind of living paycheck to paycheck, even working the two jobs. But Section 8 finally, after 2 months, they approved the unit, right? They approved the unit. But here's the problem. They are refusing to pay the 2 months that those people were in there. They said, "Oh, it wasn't a valid lease because we didn't approve the unit." And when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God, you are the ones who inspected the wrong unit. This is your mistake." And and basically, I'm getting the blame for it. Or not really the blame, I'm taking the loss. I'm the fall guy. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, really what they're doing, like, Section 8, they're just stealing, right? And I spoke to my property manager about this, and he said, "Yeah, I don't know what it is about Section 8, but for the past few months, he said that they've stolen over $20,000 in rent from him and all his properties." So, that this all came as a shocker for me, and I wanted to put this video out there just so, like, anybody who is thinking about investing in Section 8 kind of realizes that it is not guaranteed money, right? I mean nothing ever is guaranteed money, but Section 8 will also cheat you. They will also be late. They will also not pay. Like, and this is a good example. I've never had an experience like this, and a lot of people I've talked to have not either. But it really depends on the caseworker. It depends on the inspector. And yeah, you can get cheated. All right. So definitely don't think that renting Section 8 means that you are guaranteed money or anything like that. You know, I'm just hoping that I see some, you know, that I finally get the rent that I'm owed for the coming months. But we're going to see, right? Like, Section 8 might try to pull some other shit. I don't know, right? And if they do, like, unfortunately, I would have no choice but to, you know, evict the people in there, which is kind of a shame. They're really, you know, good people, but you know, I need somebody in there that will pay. And if Section 8 won't pay, then, you know, I'm probably going to need to fill it with somebody who is non-Section 8 because they have a better chance of paying at this point. They have a better track record. So, yeah, the emergency fund is really coming in handy right now. Picking up 2 jobs, really coming in handy. I'm selling a bunch of my stuff also, so that I don't go broke and I can still make the mortgage payment, because the last thing I need is to default on my mortgage because Section 8 decided to steal 2 months' rent. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of tell my story about this, and, you know, hopefully this is not a common thing that happens. Hopefully it's not a common thing, because, you know, the government, I assume, has a lot of money, and they don't need to be stealing from, you know, small landlords. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they ran out of money, and they're trying to find ways to cut costs. Still wrong. But yeah. Oh, and on a side note, the vacant unit, the 4-bedroom that was inspected and passed inspection, somebody just tore the AC window unit out of that one. They probably knew it was vacant, and so I'm gonna have to replace that one for it to pass inspection. So it is no longer up to code because it is missing an AC unit. But yeah, that kind of comes with the territory. And that kind of leads me to my last point here, which is, if you are planning on getting a Section 8 rental, they tend to be in areas like this neighborhood that are less friendly. And so you're gonna have situations like that where you might get things stolen or broken into, right? This is the first time I've had anybody steal an AC unit, but I have been broken into before, right? So I was broken into once, right? But yeah, just keep in mind, like, all these things are just things that people don't really tell you getting into it. Most people don't, right? You know, Section 8 housing and, like, you know, low income housing, they tend to have higher cash multiples, right? For the price, you get more cash flow, but you also have to make a lot more repairs. There's more maintenance. They tend to be older, you know, areas. They tend to be older structures. They tend to be, you know, a little bit falling out of repair, so you do have to make more repairs on them. You also need to deal with, like, one-offs, like, you know, sometimes your AC unit gets stolen, and that's just how it goes. Or, you know, sometimes, like, people will break in. I've heard of this happening, never happened to me, but people will break in, like, steal copper pipes and all that sort of stuff. So these are things that you have to deal with if you are investing in a low-income area. They're just, you know, it comes with the territory, right? Like I said. So anyways, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully, you know, this particular story that happened this week, and, you know, kind of the broader context that I provided, gave you a little bit of insight into what it is actually like to invest in, you know, low-income areas and, you know, use Section 8. So yeah, I mean, if you have any more questions about what's going on, definitely leave a comment below and I'll try to answer. But otherwise, see you later.